But in the grand scheme of things, yeah, if he's the sole provider, yeah, you've got to kind of follow and because he's the leader. But he will, the type of man that you are probably drawn to and he's drawn to you is because of maybe your goals and aspirations, maybe not, but maybe your goals and aspirations, and he'll be happy for you to live those out in accordance.
Lady Chen, I got a follow-up question. So let's just say that let's just say that he's not the sole provider. Let's say that your husband met you and you're just as successful as he is, and he tells you that he wants to pursue his career and he doesn't want you to pursue yours. Are you okay with that?
And he's well, then somebody has to be the sole provider. Like, well, if I'm going to be the sole provider, I mean, I'm going to then try and help him get to a position where, that he can then still lead. He still can lead. Leading is not to do with monetary value as such. But I mean, if he's got that goal and I'm in the position that I make money in order to help him get to that goal, and then he can I pass the baton on and I can fall back, then that's fine. Like, yeah.
Okay, so once you marry, then you're saying that your goals go down the drain.
No, my goals don't go down the drain, but I mean they do become secondary in a way, because I'm the wife, so I'm not the man. So yeah, so I do become secondary in a way. Yeah. So it's not down the drain. Secondary doesn't mean down the drain.
Well
Secondary
then,
just
well
comes
then,
off.
what if he says that he doesn't want you to? I mean, just say they I provided life for us, and this is the way we're gonna go. Are you okay with that?
Okay, then yeah, then then I'm
I'm
cool.
just asking questions. Okay.
Yeah, as
All
long
right.
as he.
Shout out to Lady Shan. I like that answer. Shout out to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Ali. What are your thoughts, sir?
Realistically, yes, it should be a woman. Typically, like a male as God made biologically to be the sole producer for the family. So you would think that a woman would invest, that'd be her greatest investment, is to invest in a man. So I do believe that once she invests in that man, she should not necessarily the goals. Well, let's start this over. The only reason why I'm confused is because a lot of women that say they'll put their goals behind for a man, but I don't see that happening. So it's confusing me, and I wanted to address it a different way. And it feel like it's becoming an echo chamber. So it's hard to answer this question from what we seeing women doing versus what's actually happening. But if you have someone, let's say like an Anton, who's completely goal driven, or if you have a man who's just a family man, I believe if a woman is really following her purpose and she's following a man purpose, she will put her goals behind him to make him the driving force for her family. A man's competition level is unmatched. His integrity, his resilience, and what he's made for, she cannot match him.
Go ahead, Precious.
Her goals have to be somewhat his goals. That's why, when you're in a marriage, it's supposed to be for purpose. So how are you fulfilling purpose if the man is going one way and then years on end you want to add something? That's why a lot of men don't trust getting into relationships with women, because they're one way up front, and then 5 to 10 years later they want to add things and they want to do certain things. Well, was this discussed with him when you guys were talking about the future of your life? A woman's goals somewhat have to be her husband's goals when you're joining each other. Yes, you can have your what you're passionate about, and again, we're talking about marriage being purpose driven. So you can have your passions, but if a woman is not helping a man work towards his goals, it's what are you there for? He can be single and work on his own goals.
So should a woman not have goals because she's married?
No, she should have goals, but at the same time, when you get married, you also understand that you're trusting a man to be a leader. So why would you want to be out here doing a lot of things that men do when you just marry the leader who is going to lead you? Like I said, you can have your passion projects and things like that, so you're busy and you don't have idle time. But that time to me is, look, we keeping it in a family. We working towards his goal.
Yeah, part of a woman's goal is to be married, hopefully. So if the goal is to be married and you have a job and you have a career, your goal is still the marriage, and the career is actually just simply paying the bills, because we go to work, go to our jobs or whatever in order to pay bills. Sometimes your job isn't a goal. You're just at work. Just like, you start a business or whatever, but you got a job. Your goal is to start a business, not the actual job. So when you compartmentalize what your goal is and then what your job is, you got a better understanding of where you're going. Sometimes women can look at their career as their goal. Their career is a job until, they get what they actually want, if she wants a husband. Because some women don't want to get married, but if women who want to get married, that goal has to be to get married and not no damn job.
Her
So
her
Precious,
goal is
Oh, go ahead, lady. Hold on, Bruiser. Lady Dad was trying to get in. Go ahead, Lady Dad.
So Precious, if you was married and you followed your husband's goals, right, his success, but your goal was to give back to kids, right, and it's not a nonprofit, you're going to earn money from doing that, and you giving back to the youth to help them get better. You're saying that you wouldn't even suggest doing it because you're following his goals?
Your husband is someone who wholeheartedly loves you. Again, to me, that's a passion project. That's not something that is.
I didn't say passion.
Not
passion. It's just something that you're trying to give back. It's not a passion. You're helping the community.
Right. You got to have passion. You got to have passion to do that. Nobody's just doing that. You have to have passion to do something like that. If your husband knows that that's your heart, then his goal and his what he's doing for the family is going to accommodate that. But again, that has to be something that is spoken up front. You can't come 10 years later like, I want to give back to the community, and interrupt what he's doing. Or if he has a certain, want to get to a certain place at a certain time, you just can't come in and say, I want to do this.
But
that's not what he agreed to.
But why would it be an interruption? What if we know I got a contract signed, we can make $1 million? How is it an interruption? Because what you're saying right now is that women can't have a goal, and not all their goals is jacked. There's some women that have great ideas. It's not a lot of women that have great ideas. But what if this man has a woman that actually has a great idea, and she's gonna, he supports her obviously, right? But she's not gonna take away from him, because we already let him get his bag and all this type of stuff to elevate the family. But like I said, as we get older, there are things that pop up because it's for the time, right? It's at due time. So let's say this goal, I'm just hypothetically speaking, this goal makes money. He's not going to say no to money. And why should it be a bad idea? Because what you're saying is women shouldn't even say nothing about a goal.
No. That's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I said was at the beginning, if you have a goal and you have a passion project, or you want to do something, you need to, that's an ASAP thing that you need to speak to your husband about. I said, you can't come in 5 to 10 years later and say, oh, I want to do this, when he has already mapped out your life.